Okay, everybody. Now, I fear that that last little video may have scared you off a little bit. Not my intent. My intent is always to help you understand versus kind of repel you from understanding mathematics. But I needed to talk to you about that difference of the right way versus the wrong way. The problem with calculating grades is you very rarely have access to the run. With GPS devices on our bodies all the time now, we always have access to the rise because we can get the elevation changes up and down. But the runs we're not going to have access to very often because unless we're traveling on perfectly horizontal, sorry about that, roads, the run is hidden underground. I mean, how do you get to the run? Well, you get to the run using mathematics, using the mathematics we just did. You have the road calculation. You can convert that to feet, and then you can run it through the Pythagorean theorem to get the actual to get the actual run, and then you can do grade the correct way. Now, I know that's also extraordinarily tedious. So what I've done, if you go to our webpage, let's go ahead and do that right now. Here's our Baldwin Street from before. I'm going to go to employees. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to go to our webpage. Where I want to go right now is the Excel calculator. I've mentioned this a couple times before. We've never used it before. So we're going to crack this thing open it on up. Okay, and let's see, where did it just put itself? It opened itself somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there. Now, very often when you open it up, it's going to ask you to enable content. So you're going to click on enable content. And then there's a number of tabs down at the bottom. You might see green ones and blue ones. The very first tab is called grade. Go ahead and click on grade. Okay. Now this is I call this my grade calculator because this takes care of the math we just did in that last video for you and takes kind of the mystery away. My biggest concern when we talk about these kinds of calculations is losing the forest for the trees, getting so buried in the mathematics that we might lose track of what we're actually doing. So that's what I did with this. With this, I actually just wanted us to be able to feed our values into this calculator, and it will give us the actual grade calculations, and then we can interpret them as we need. So let's just take a look at this. If you look at the instructions, it says insert the rise and either the run or the road at right. Make sure the units agree. So let's just redo what we just did for my commute. The rise on my commute was 700 feet. I'm not going to put feet in. Excel doesn't like anything other than numbers in for calculations. So, and it's not going to matter anyway as long as our units are the same. Now I'm going to leave the run blank because the run, remember, we didn't know. We knew that the road was 32,200 feet. And I'm going to press enter. Now please notice what you now get. First of all, you get the right way grade of 2%. Over here, you get the wrong way grade of 2%. Now notice they're both 2%. They're not exactly both 2%. As a matter of fact, the right way grade is about that, and the wrong way grade is about that. So you notice that the wrong way grade is a little bit less than the right way grade. But has anybody ever seen a grade sign on the side of the road that says grade 2.1739113%? No, because those decimals are completely meaningless. You see something like that. And arguably, those numbers are the same number, which means it doesn't matter if you calculate it the right way or the wrong way. Now, to recap, the right way means we did the Pythagorean theorem to figure out what the run actually was. That's the right way. That's what we just did in that last video. The wrong way said, you know what, forget it. I'm going to take that divided by that and call it good enough. Notice how they're very, very similar? Hold that thought. We'll come back to it in a second. Okay, here's the angle formed if you needed it. Remember how I told you I'd give you tools that are more precise? Well, here's one for you. You've got one that's more precise right here. And then I put this one, percent error between the right and the wrong way. Now there is some error. I mean, there it is right there. It's a tiny bit of error though. There's not much difference. There's not much error in doing the right versus the wrong way. The wrong way is always going to be easier. It's always going to be easier to calculate the right way, the wrong way, because you're generally in life going to have these two numbers, and dividing them is the wrong way. the right way is always going to be more mathematically challenging. But the question is does it matter? Well, let's find out. Let's do college way. Remember college way's grade was 6%? That means for every 6 feet of rise, we actually rode 100%, if you think about it that way. Now look at the difference. 6%, 6%. There is no difference. There is no difference. Look, 3.44. That's pretty close to what we said. We said it was 3.5, didn't we? I believe we did. I think we said it was 3.5. Okay? Let's look at Archie Briggs, which I think was 16.7 for every 100 on the road. Now, look what's happening now. The right way and the wrong way both round to 17%. But look at the percent error. It's 1% now. That's a tiny difference, but it's bigger than 0. And that's what starts to happen as you get steeper. So for example, suppose the rise of your, let's do, what was that steepest one we saw? Canton, 37. And let's suppose, for example, we called 100% the road and not the run. If 100% is actually the road, then 37 divided by 100 is 37%. But the right way grade, you'd have to do 100 squared minus that squared, take the square root of all that, and look, the right way grade actually becomes 40%. And now there's actually a sizable error between the right and wrong way. And the reason for that, quite simply, it can be seen by this little image down here, which is my TrueView grade visualizer. Okay? When you have a steep angle, like 22 degrees, the road is becoming a very different length than the run. The run is I'm going to use the word much here, much shorter than the road. Remember what it looked like on my commute when it was 700 feet over 32,200? You can't even tell the difference between the road and the run right now. I mean, yeah, the run has to be longer. Excuse me, I just said the wrong thing. The road has to be longer, but it's not meaningfully longer. But when you start getting into things like Canton Avenue, that's when you start seeing the fact that this is meaningfully longer than this. Okay, and as it gets higher, it gets kind of crazier. Let's go 45 degrees, all right, 45 degree. I just said 45 degrees. I didn't mean that. Let's make the rise 45 and the road 100. Now the wrong way grade is 45%. The right way grade is 50%. And you're starting to see there is definitely a difference because this angle is so large. Now here's the thing. Occasionally you will have the rise and the run. I used to have my students measure stairs. I'm not going to have us do that this term. I have another quiz planned for us on Tuesday, which is actually going to measure Lion's Back, which is a rock formation in Moab. And you actually can sometimes get the run and the rise from an image. You can actually look at the side of something and realize it. So let's suppose something rises, I don't know, 52 feet, but it runs 124. Okay, so if you plug that in, rise and run, 52 and 124, notice it only gives you the right way grade. There's no reason to calculate a wrong way grade in this point because I gave you exactly what you needed to get the right way. The only way you're ever going to want to look at a wrong way grade is if you don't get the run and you instead have the road, you know, and something along those lines. Okay? So this is a wonderful little tool. We're going to use this in class, like I said, next week. And you're probably going to want to use it on one of the quizzes that you do this week if you choose to do that second quiz, the one about the... it's another look at my bike commute, a different bike commute that I take sometimes. And you'll probably want to use the calculator then. So I just wanted to let you know that it's there for your use. Remember where it is. I'm going to shut this down and not save it. It's on the main 105 page for our class, and it's right there at Excel Calculator. Okay, I've actually had students that have since gone on to research degrees that have downloaded this calculator and kept it with them. They say it's better than most of the programs they use at work. And that makes me happy. It makes me happy to know that this is out there being used. So, all right, I think that gets us enough fun information between now and Tuesday. So we will catch you then, and have a great weekend. And thanks again for understanding and letting me do this math contest tomorrow. Talk to you on Tuesday.